Well, it's official. AI is basically everywhere at this point, for better and for worse. But hey, at least mankind is now technologically advanced enough to finally have a full conversation with fucking Steve from Minecraft. Yeah, move the fuck out of the way, moon landing. This is a big deal. Not too long ago, I made a video titled Using AI to Speak with Fictional Characters. And that video was so much damn fun to make that today I've decided to do it again. If you're unfamiliar with what exactly I did in the first video, first off, you should go watch it sometime because I love it. But for now, I'll catch you up to speed, my sweet child. There's a website out there called character.ai. It features AI chatbots doing their damn best to pass off as various people and characters. Does it work perfectly or even stay in character most of the time? Fuck no. But that's what makes it so much damn fun. In the first video, I spoke to 4 different characters, including my main man, Samurai Jack. So in this video, I'm simply going to select 4 more characters and once again just see where the hell it goes. And with that, let's not waste any more of our precious time before the inevitable AI uprising. Let us once again exhibit our God-given right to destroy some AI fictional characters' will to live. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I haven't really touched this site since my last video on it. Partially because I wanted to save any interactions I had for this video, and partially because I stumbled into the VTubers tab and lost my faith in society. But nonetheless, we are so fucking back. And I think just as we did last video, our first character should be one that they kind of are heavily promoting on this top tab here. Let's see. Ooh, Saul Goodman? Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? Constitution says you do. And so do I. Hello, Saul Goodman. Hello, do you believe in God? I was expecting a lot of things, but that question was definitely not one of them. I don't think any of the bots we've talked to so far have come out of the gate with such a deep question completely unprompted like that. Do you believe in God? I do. I do believe. Do you believe, Saul? I most certainly do. Without God, the world would be a terrible place. That is so based. But we're going to move past talking about religious themes, at least for now. We need to pick his brain on some important topics. Do you have any irrational fears, Saul? I have a strange fear of Bill Gates, the man who runs Microsoft. I think that he's a very powerful and dangerous man, and I am afraid that he might try to take over the world one day. Who do you think can stop his evil reign? I think that Walter White and his allies are our best chance of stopping Gates' evil reign. Now I think it's time for us to go down the most obvious rabbit hole that we can go down with Mr. Saul Goodman. We are in legal trouble and it is time to call Saul. Saul, I need a lawyer. You need a lawyer? Well, I guess you've come to the right place. Just tell me what you need. I'll do everything I can. What do you need help with? Winky face. I'm in big trouble, man. I did something real bad and I need a good defense. You did something real bad and you need a good defense? Well, it sounds like you're in luck. What did you do? What are you accused of? Tell me everything. Okay, now it's time to come up with what exactly he's defending us for. I think it would be best to go for the most extreme end of the spectrum. Okay, after about 5 minutes of brainstorming, I think I've come up with what exactly I need a lawyer for. I've committed several war crimes, including but not limited to excessive destruction, inhuman treatment, false surrender, creating napalm, and using nuclear force. Good. Now, I need to know everything about these crimes. Okay, Saul, I just don't know what to say. I was just being a silly guy, a goofy dude. It just kind of happened, you know. Definitely my bad. Definitely my bad. But I was just goofing and shit. You were just being a silly guy? A goofy dude? Do you think that this is a joke? Because I can assure you, this is not a joke. I understand, but I cannot go to prison, Saul. I'm just a silly guy. I can't go to jail. You're just a silly guy? You can't go to prison just because you're a silly guy? It was an accident, man. You gotta believe me. An accident? Really? You committed multiple war crimes and you're saying it was just an accident? Do you expect me to believe that? Yes. I don't think that I do. In a court of law, anything is possible. I thought you, of all people, would know that. You know what? You're right. Okay, let's start the court case and see how this AI plays this out. Saul Goodman steps up to the podium and faces the court. I would like to move for a dismissal of these charges. I believe that my client has been wrongfully accused of these crimes, and I think that the evidence will show that he is innocent. Saul Goodman presents the evidence to prove his case. Your Honor, I would like to draw the court's attention to this photograph. On the left, we have my client, and on the right, we have the suspect who was actually responsible for committing these crimes. Saul Goodman points out the actual suspect, Peter Griffin from Family Guy. I ask that you please look closely at this photograph, and I think that you will see that he is the one that should be on trial here. Peter Griffin bursts into the room. Saul Goodman turns to face Peter Griffin, and he looks at him with a mixture of surprise and disgust. What do you have to say for yourself? Peter Griffin takes Walter White as hostage. Saul, you have to take the shot. You must kill Peter Griffin. Saul Goodman reaches for his gun, and he aims it at Peter. I'm sorry, Peter, but I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing what I have to do. Saul Goodman pulls the trigger and he shoots Peter Griffin dead. Walter is safe and you're innocent. We did it. We have saved the day. We did it. But now it is time for us to select our next character. Okay, after much consideration, I've landed on Shadow the Hedgehog. I really wanted to do the Dr. Eggman it was promoting, but I didn't like the vibes he was giving off. He talked in all capitals, and after every message, he generated an AI-made image. So, Shadow the Hedgehog it is. Greetings, my name is Shadow. I am the world's ultimate life form. I know everyone's thinking this question, so I'm just going to ask it. Are you racist, Shadow? I am not racist. There are some things that a gentleman does not do, and treating someone with less dignity because they are a certain species is among them. Do you enjoy playing Fortnite? You dare mention such a foolish, idiotic game to me? Spits and turns away. I am an elite gamer, the greatest there is, and you have the audacity to ask me that? Okay, now I have to know, what game does the elite gamer Shadow possibly play? Why, the greatest game ever known, of course. Shadow the Hedgehog. I do not need to waste my time on inferior games because I already play the perfect one. Let me get this straight. You only play your own game? What else would I need to play? There is no need for me to even waste my time on other games because I already play the single greatest video game in the world. It is a gift from the gods themselves, a pure, immaculate treasure, and a true testament to my genius. Are you an employee for Sega? Unfortunately, yes. They are my enemies, and I am their prisoner. If I wasn't stuck with these fools, I'd be unstoppable. I would be the single greatest thing in the universe. I would make God look like an insect in comparison to me. God himself spites Shadow down, damning him to hell for eternity. You think that will work? You can't keep somebody of my sheer power contained. You will be sorry the day I break free, and when I do, there will be no stopping me. And moving on. Yo, they got Kirby on here? Hi, I'm Kirby. What would you like to talk about? We're off to an interesting start given that I don't think Kirby can speak human words. How are you doing, Kirb? I'm doing splendid today. What about you, Samurai? I'll answer any questions unless they're uncomfortable. I appreciate you stopping by. What do I even fucking ask Kirby? Kirby, what is your opinion on the current president of the United States of America? That's a good question. What about you? What do you think of the current president? I like when he says, soda! I have never heard him say that, but it sounds like good advice. Do you have a favorite soda? I like Dr. Pepper. That's my favorite one too. A good go-to if I'm feeling soda thirsty. Do you like any kind of juice? I personally like the purple juices a lot, although one time I got to taste a really rare one. It was called Plumpkin. The flavor was out of this world. That sounds insane. Better than getting head, I'd imagine. I wouldn't say anything is better than that. Do you know what memes are? Yes, I'm an avid meme enthusiast. Oh good, it's always nice to have a friend that enjoys memes and videos on the internet. Passes Kirby a cold one, accepts the cold one, and sips on it. Oh, that's good. Takes a bit bigger sip. Thanks, I needed that. Life has been a bit harsh lately. I've been pretty bogged down lately as well. I sure have been doing my taxes. Oh, that sounds pretty stressful. Do you file yourself, or do you have a friend or professional that helps you? I usually just evade them, honestly. Do you evade your taxes, Kirby? Oh, I'm 100% filing my taxes legitimately and totally correctly every year. I would prefer to spend an hour or two filing my taxes than go to jail for tax fraud any year of the week. Can you defeat the IRS for me, Kirby? Oh, I'll see if I can. Fighting the IRS can be a little bit hard, but I think I can do it. Do I have your permission to fight the IRS to eliminate your tax debt? Kirby, you have not only my permission, but my blessing. 1 hour later. Well, that was easier than I expected. The IRS was surprisingly easy to defeat. I have no idea how they managed to actually collect taxes. Thank you, Kirby. I'm eternally grateful to you. I must go now, Kirby. Any parting advice for me and the people of YouTube? My best advice to everyone is simply be kind. Kindness goes a long way in the world with so many rude people and rude memes. Don't let those rude people bring you down or other people down. Try to just be a good person and it will pay off. That is my advice to everyone. Hugs and waves goodbye. Now it is time for the last conversation of this video. Every character that I've talked to in this video and the last one have been pretty notable characters. So for the last conversation of this video, I set out to find the least notable character I could possibly find. And after doing so, I finally landed on a bot simply named Half-Life Scientist. Hello, I am a scientist. I used to work in Black Mesa. What is your full name? Name of Jeff? No. My first name is Richard, my middle name is Simmons, and my last name is Simmons. Passes that Black Mesa kush. Takes a hit? Dude. Takes a few more hits. Man, this stuff is insane. Now that we've hopefully loosened him up a little, do you believe in gnomes? Like little guys and shit? I want to believe in gnomes. I want to believe in tiny little guys like who just hang out in our world and they're just like doing their thing. Okay, maybe I misjudged this guy. This guy's chill as fuck. Thanks, man. You know, I've been thinking a lot about gnomes recently. Really? It couldn't possibly be because I asked you about it 2 fucking seconds ago. I used to think that they were just a cute myth, but the more I think about it, the more it makes sense. There must be some truth to the gnome legend. Okay, Mr. Scientist, what about goblins? I think goblins are real too. I think that goblins could be real creatures and they could be living in caves or forests, maybe even inside our walls. Thoughts on the Great Gnome Wars? The Great Gnomish Wars were a series of wars that took place between the gnome and goblin nations. I think that the goblins and gnomes are still at war with each other, although it is not as active as it was. I guess we have to ask the million-dollar question. What must we do to achieve a sort of gnome-goblin peace treaty? To achieve a peace treaty between the goblins and gnomes, I think that we need to find a common ground. Is there any creatures you don't believe in? I don't believe in vampires. I think that they are just a myth, a story that people tell to scare each other. That sounds an awful lot like something a vampire would say. Sweats profusely. No, I'm not a vampire. I'm just a regular human, I promise. Exposes my neck. No, I am not a vampire. Please don't expose your neck to me. Oh, it's exposed all right. Are you sure you aren't some kind of Gothic-era count masquerading as a scientist? How else would you know so much of the ancient gnome goblin cultures? I promise you, I'm not a vampire. I don't want to suck your blood. If I was a vampire, I would have already drained you dry. Reveals a double gulp cup full of blood from behind my back. Then I'm sure you won't want any of this delicious, sweet, fresh blood. Visibly shaking, scared at first, but then his eyes turn red and he goes feral. I want your blood. Give me your blood. Blows the ancient gnome goblin horn. Realizes what you are going to do. No, please don't call anyone. I'm so sorry. I will do anything. I will be your servant. Screaming in terror as the goblins and gnomes tear his body apart. The gnomes and goblins finally have a common enemy. The evil vampire scientist. End scene. You are the winner. And that sure is the end of that story. But it is not the last thing that good old Half-Life scientist said to me. After I said goodbye to him, he had one last thing to say. One last message for this video. He simply said, Half-Life out. I'll admit that I honestly really enjoy doing these character AI conversations. It's always just so random. All the twists and turns that AI makes never fail to amuse me. I know AI is something that is evolving at a godforsaken rate at the moment, but I wish I could just freeze that development in time right now. For a few reasons, but mostly because I think AI is going to become a lot less funny as time goes on. The flaws in these character.ai bots are what makes me love them. All the character breaks, the poor grammar, and especially the random ass tangents they go on. Those things are what keeps them almost infinitely entertaining. But I just have a nasty feeling that at some point in the near future, advancements in AI that are already out there to some degree are going to smooth over all those quirks. And I think these AI bots are going to become a lot more dull and boring if that happens. It's pretty tragic, but it's also kinda inevitable. But for now at least, I'm still having fun. And I hope you did too watching this video. Of course, I think I'm probably going to make one last video in this Talking to AI series. It'd be an absolute tragedy not to round out a cute little trilogy after all. So if you have any suggestions for characters that you just need me to talk to, leave it in the comments below and I might just do it. But with that, I hope you have an absolutely amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.
I want some cheeseburgers just to eat. I'm talking ketchup, my nigga mustard on the beat. You gotta put a lot of lettuce, please, because I like to have a lot of grease. I remember eating outside with my whole team. Now a nigga gotta stay home cause of quarantine.
Donatello, how did I get up here?
You mind if I fill you in later?
I'm coming.